Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And I got a pretty interesting topic for you, and the topic is the media doing a terrible job trying to stir up beef between Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you go ahead and check out Dreamerspro Max, an online sports community place you can go and start basketball discussions, chat live during games, and so many other cool things. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the comment section below. Anyway, let me get into this topic so you guys see me here cracking up for pretty good reason, right? For pretty good reason, because this story is actually pretty funny to me. But with what's happening right now. So as you guys know, there was this breaking story that occurred yesterday where basically a story came out that was written by Ramona Shelburne of ESPN, where she basically revealed something that happened last season between Russell Westbrook and Kawhi Leonard, right? And essentially what happened was this. Russell Westbrook, not last season, 2 years ago, Russell Westbrook at the time was playing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. At that time, he was contemplating possibly moving on from that team and trying to go back to LA. At that time, Kawhi Leonard had also become a free agent after he had just won his championship with the Toronto Raptors. Fantastic. So Russell Westbrook knew that Kawhi Leonard was a free agent, and he was basically trying to figure out, okay, where he wants to go next. Apparently, the story goes like this. He contacted Kawhi Leonard and basically tried to reach out to him to say, okay, I want to go to LA, right? Essentially what ended up happening was that Kawhi Leonard in return did not even return Russell Westbrook's call, according to some of the things that I read. Instead, what Kawhi did was he decided to contact his then teammate who was under contract, Paul George, and asked Paul George if he would be willing to play with him in Los Angeles, essentially just blowing off Russell Westbrook and completely overlooking him to go play with Paul George. So that's basically how this story went. This happened 2 seasons ago, right? Ultimately, Kawhi Leonard ended up signing with the Clippers. And then once he signed with the Clippers, he was able to now bring Paul George, which was like a groundbreaking move that he did that no one saw coming, because we either thought he was either going to go back to the Toronto Raptors or ultimately play with the Lakers, and instead he was able to go play with the Clippers, and somehow they were able to get Paul George to break his contract with the Oklahoma City Thunder to go play with him in LA with the Los Angeles Clippers. Fantastic. So that's what happened, right? So we did a live yesterday covering this story, kind of breaking this story. And I thought it was pretty much done. And I thought that Kawhi Leonard did the smart thing. I think he did the thing that anybody would do that wants to win a championship, right? Don't play with Russell Westbrook. This is not a knock on Russell Westbrook, but it's just obvious. You don't want Russell Westbrook being the primary decision maker on your team when you're trying to win a championship. It didn't work with Kevin Durant. Kawhi Leonard saw that. And he said, listen, there's no history of this working anywhere, and I'm trying to guarantee that I win a championship, and I just don't see how I'm going to be able to accomplish that playing alongside Russell Westbrook, who's shooting for a career 30% from the three. Just this last season, I mean, he shot 31% from the 3-point line, and in the playoffs, he was even worse. In the playoffs, he shot 25% from the 3-point line, 33% from the field. Think about that, 33% with the Washington Wizards. The year prior, he shot 24% from the 3-point line, 42% from the field, and 53% with the Houston Rockets in the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard knew he had a history, and he said, listen, I can't play with this guy. So instead, he decided to play with the more versatile player in Paul George, who's a great two-way player who can shoot. This last season, he shot almost 40% from the 3-point line, a very good free throw shooter, but could also play defense and do a plethora of things. So Kawhi Leonard decided to go play with him. So what's been happening is this. I've noticed that people in the media are now trying to turn it to make it seem that Kawhi Leonard somehow slighted Russell Westbrook and kind of, did him dirty, right? By not taking his phone call or even entertaining the idea of the two of them playing together. That seems to be what happened, what's happening right now. Chris Broussard just recently came out and said that's pretty cold. That's a cold-blooded move by what Kawhi Leonard did. And they were asking, he was kind of, alluding to the fact that this is something that's going to motivate Russell Westbrook because now he's going to try to get back at Kawhi Leonard and all of these different things. And they're saying, oh, this is a cold-blooded move by Kawhi Leonard. Hold up, pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes for a second. I think we're confusing the two things. Russell Westbrook and Kawhi Leonard are not in the same class when it comes to player. Kawhi Leonard is one of the best 3 players in the world, and Russell Westbrook is not one of the best 3. There's no knock, but this is a pure fact, right? I'm not even sure if Russell Westbrook is in the top 10 right now. There are a lot of great players. He's certainly not in the top 5, right? Top 5 right now, you have Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Then you have James Harden, you have Joel Embiid, you have you have so many other great players out there. So I don't think he's there with him. So it's not like as if they're not punching in the same. It's not an even fight. They're not even in the same weight class, right? But they're making it seem as if could this motivate Russell Westbrook to come back and try to? Okay, so hold on a second. This happened 2 seasons ago. Right? This happened 2 seasons ago. So you're telling me that Russell Westbrook didn't get motivated 2 seasons ago, is that he got motivated now when the story came out now. Now he's motivated to try to prove something, although this happened 2 years ago. How does that work? Last season, I saw Russell Westbrook with the Washington Wizards. I just read you off his numbers. Did that look like somebody that was coming to get Kawhi Leonard? Now, some people may say, well, he was with the Washington Wizards. Fantastic. The year prior, he was with the Houston Rockets playing alongside another MVP when the Houston Rockets, and they were in the playoffs. Did you see anything like he was trying to come for Kawhi Leonard and try to get back at Kawhi Leonard for what he did? No. I think what the media is trying to do here is trying to create a story around nothing. The fact of the matter is this: Kawhi Leonard had to make a decision which was in the best interest for him. He said, if I have to choose between Russell Westbrook or Paul George, I'm going to choose Paul George. And in fact, what ended up happening was initially he tried to reach out to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant said, no, I'm going to go play with the Brooklyn Nets and go play with my friend Kyrie Irving before they even had James Harden. So he tried to reach Kevin Durant first. Then he tried to reach Jimmy Butler. He couldn't get through to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler said, I'm going to go play with the Miami Heat. And congratulations to Jimmy Butler for signing a new extension, the 4-year max contract with the Miami Heat. And they just picked up Kyle Lowry. They're doing some big things over there. So he tried to get him. And then after that, he tried to get Paul George. But you can look at the caliber of players he was going after. He already knew the type of player he wanted. He didn't want to play with Russell Westbrook. Kevin Durant didn't want to play with Russell Westbrook. I think Kawhi Leonard knew that both of their games don't match. I think Russell Westbrook would have frustrated Kawhi Leonard to pieces. You can't have him be your primary decision maker. So Kawhi said, I don't want to play with you. But now what the media seems to be trying to do is create this story around how Kawhi Leonard is cold-blooded and how he did him dirty and poor Russell Westbrook. What are we talking about here? Every basketball fan that heard this story said he did the right thing. Like every single one of them. The only ones that would feel like he did something wrong are probably now new Laker fans that are supporting Russell Westbrook and Russell Westbrook fans. But all the other NBA fans, all the other people that follow basketball said, congratulations for Kawhi Leonard. You just dodged the bullet. You made the right decision to not play with Russell Westbrook. And I think it's funny that the media is now trying to make it seem as if somehow Kawhi Leonard did Russell Westbrook wrong by not taking his phone call. He didn't have to. I don't understand. Like, he doesn't have to. He doesn't owe Russell Westbrook anything. The guy was already a 2-time champion, so he doesn't. What does he owe him? He doesn't owe him that courtesy at all. He was thinking of himself and trying to position himself for the future to try to win another championship, and that seemed to be his focus. So he went after Paul George. Now, what they're trying to say is that Kawhi Leonard went behind Russell Westbrook's back to contact Paul George and say, Paul George, do you know that your team... Y'all honestly believe that's what he did? Y'all honestly sitting there thinking that's what Kawhi Leonard... Do y'all think Kawhi Leonard gives a damn to that extent? Seriously. Look at Kawhi. Does he look like somebody that cares about what other people... Just look at him. He's not even on social media, and y'all make it like... So why would he care about what Russell Westbrook thinks? Why would he? Because of what? Because if Russell Westbrook thinks a certain thing, and then what does that mean? That it means what? Nothing. So I just think it's pretty funny that they're trying to, oh, Kawhi Leonard, he did him dirty. He's a shrewd operator. Yeah, whatever. Y'all are trying, but I think y'all are doing a lousy job. There's nothing there. All I think it was is just a hilarious story. That's all I think it was. I think it was hilarious. But I think it just shows you that Kawhi Leonard is a shrewd business. He's not going to waste people's time, right? It's like as if somebody contacts you on LinkedIn and they want to do business with you. And you see that they contacted you from a particular company. You read the guy's message, you're like, okay, but I'm not interested in doing business with this guy. Then you look at the company, this would be an interesting company to do business with. Let me see who works at this company. Okay, let me contact the CEO to do a deal together. So, and then you do that. Do you owe that guy that just messaged you that you don't have a relationship with them? No, you don't. You're like, interesting idea. That's what it was. So those are my thoughts and opinion, and I actually think it's funny, but hey, that they're doing their job, and you got to have a villain somewhere. So Kawhi Leonard is the villain, and now Russell Westbrook is the sympathy figure here. So I think that's pretty hilarious. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.